Alright, welcome to Thunderhead 289 Garage, and today we're going to take a look at my garage itself, which actually happens to be a storage unit, believe it or not. And if you look back through all my how-to videos and if you followed me for a while, you know there is some hints and you might have caught on, but today we're going to take a look at it itself. And again, if you followed me for a while, you'll know I used to have a house, and then when Emily, she got into vet school, we moved up close to the vet school so she could just walk there, which put us in a trailer. So we live in a trailer park, and really, you know, I had to make something work for a garage with, you know, you can see I'm obviously a hobbyist here, and if you're not familiar with my channel, I do a lot of how-to videos here in the winter with engine building. So this is something I got here going with my 1965 Galaxy, and then in the summer, you know, we do car revivals, power tour, and some other tech stuff is in there, you know, just a mixed bag of automotive stuff. But anyway, we won't talk about that today. Again, we'll just take a look at the garage. So, you know, moving up into the trailer park, really didn't have an opportunity to have a garage with that set up, of course. So we've just made this work, and today we're going to take a look at it itself and kind of how I have made it work. Now, storage units like this, you know, they start out, they don't have any electricity, any heat. And, you know, if you're down south, that might not be a problem for you. But up here in Iowa, you know, it gets down to 10 degrees, 5 degrees, single digits, sometimes even into the negatives. And it's still very easy to work in here. So without further ado, let me jump up, grab the camera, and we'll just take a look around. All right, standing here against the back wall of the storage unit roll-up door. This is pretty much the extent of my garage at the moment, and it's a standard storage unit, you know, something like you would rent to, you know, store your car over the winter, or you know, if you've got some long-term storage going on. And if you do follow my channel and if you've been here for a while, you might remember my F100 that I had worked on and ended up in a storage unit, very similar to this, and we ended up pulling it out. Basically what I use this storage unit for here is engine building. That's primarily, again, what I do on my channel, engine building and how to, and we have some other stuff going on there, but it works great for that, nice and contaminant free. There's not a whole lot of dust going blowing around in here when I'm not here. It's completely sealed off. So let's take a look at the temperature thing here, and I use these propane heaters, which work really well. Now I used to use one of these, shoot, I think it's sitting over there on my tools, one of those sunflower heaters to heat the garage, and you know, they did okay. But once I moved to this guy, man, it is a absolute cannon. 30,000, 45,000 BTU. Now I got it on Amazon, I'll leave the part link, but man, it heats this place up great. And you know, let's take a look at the temperature. We'll fire it up here. I have it off for the sake of the audio here, but we'll fire it up and run a timer, see how long it takes to change our temperature. So right now it's sub 30 degrees. So we'll turn around here, and you'll have to forgive my garage. It's absolutely packed full of part boxes and everything. I haven't had a chance to clean it out. I guess I've been lazy, as once I walk out of here, you know, I go straight for the car because it's so cold outside. So let's turn this guy on. This is going to be interesting, so I'll have to do this with one hand. And then we'll start our stopwatch and see how long it takes to reach a temp and steady out. See if we can do this all with one hand. And this is a brand new tank on this guy, so lights up pretty good. There we go, nice and lit up. So now let's take our timer here. We can figure out how to operate our Apple phone. Start our timer. Again, we're starting at sub 30 degrees, so we'll just let this go and let it steady out, and we'll check back. Alright, so checking in here with our heater. Now I always run this thing on high, and that seems to be, you know, pretty effective. And I guess propane is fairly cheap, so I don't have any reservations about doing that. And what are we at here? There we go. We're at about 8 minutes. And our temperature is almost up to 60 degrees. So in under 10 minutes, we've almost changed our temperature by a total of 30 degrees. And as I talk here, I can see that it's still going up. So that's absolutely incredible. It's extremely tolerable in here, and compared to outside, that's about, you know, 25 degrees or so. This is dang near t-shirt weather for us us Midwesterners. Now, one trick with these heaters that I found that really helps to help you with the overall feel and the temperature of where you're working, I guess. And a buddy of mine taught me this trick, Lee. He has a similar situation with an engine shed, but you know, he owns a piece of property. He's not doing some tomfoolery like this. But he's got a dedicated engine shed where he has a propane heater, and he took a box fan and put it on the ceiling. You know, it seems pretty obvious, but it's absolutely ingenious, because what does heat do? It rises, so that box fan blows that heat back down to where you are, and it's just an incredible difference. And you know, it's hard to really explain on video, but just running the heater by itself versus running the heater with a fan, just night and day difference. So I haven't quite got to that point yet, but we got our fan here just blowing our heat over into our working area. You can see we're now up to 60 degrees, and it is just extremely you know, tolerable, and compared to trying to work in 5-degree weather or something, you know, it's just no comparison, of course. So this makes it very manageable, and you know, something that you can actually work with here. So moving on from our heat and our storage and making all that work, let's take a look at, you know, probably the most odd piece here is the lighting. Now, a lot of storage units do not come equipped with an electrical plug, although I've seen on the internet a lot of people are trying to live in a storage unit, which is kind of interesting. But they have an electrical plug that they plug into and branch it off into a bunch of other things. But actually that's illegal, and if someone catches you doing it, well, not illegal, but you know, that's not necessarily in your rent agreement. And if they catch you doing that and pulling off of it to that degree, you know, they're going to throw the book at you, and they might make you move out, which you can see here with all this stuff, that would not be ideal. Even though, you know, I really could tie into their setup here and pull electricity from that, but you know, that's just not very ethical and not what I'm about. So basically I got these lights off of Amazon. They don't have a lot of power draw. I only run a couple of them at a time, the ones that I need. And you know, I've kind of strung them together with a power cord. But anyway, let's step out to the outside of the garage here and see how we power this thing. Oh. All right, so remember that thing I said about ethics? You know, I just had the owner of the place knock on the door, and I got a pretty good rapport with him, and you know, we had a good little chat there, and he always has a good laugh about what I'm doing in here. But anyway, how I power my lights, and I've done this for quite a while, is I got my old P71 Crown Victoria here, and basically I just have a power inverter in it. I let it idle outside, and that is what runs my lights. You can kind of see it sitting down in there. There we go. So that's run directly off the battery with a fuse there, and you know, it's seemed to do pretty good, but I don't have any issues with that. You know, old beater car, who cares of running up the idle hours on it? It's already a police car with 1 billion idle hours as it is, and you know, I've just idled the heck out of this thing without any issues. But if you don't have any other options, you know, you can do that. Now the reason I use a car is because you know, I make how-to videos in here, and a lot of noise really isn't conducive to making videos. So what you also could do is use a generator, which I also have this if I ever get to not like in this scenario, which I used to run, but you can hear it in videos, so I went away from doing this, and I used to have complaints about it. And you know, the biggest thing when you're doing stuff like this is you want to keep everyone in the good graces, I guess. So anyway, that's pretty much how we power this thing. Does a pretty good job. And yeah, that's pretty much it, our storage unit. So I'm getting ready to move out of here in not too long, so I just want to do a quick walk around, and if not for you all, at least kind of for me, it's an interesting time in life, and I'll just always, you know, y'all look back and think that this was extremely interesting and really kind of weird. But hey, you know, in life, if you want to do something bad enough, you can always find a way, and I think we definitely found a way to make this very, very manageable. So with that, I got our cherry picker here. We're going to get our engine all picked up off the stand and bolted to a little engine dolly like this, and we'll get it out of here, and we're going to go get this thing put in the Galaxy very soon. So if you're into automotive stuff, stick around for that. But as for this video, that pretty much concludes our little walkthrough. I'll catch you guys later.